everybody, I'm finally back to do my birth story. So here we go. I'm going to be looking at some notes up here, so I apologize. I went back in for my Saturday appointment on August 18th, and that was 40 weeks and 3 days pregnant. The previous day I was dilated to 3 centimeters, and my fluid was at 6.7. When the doctor checked me, and I have saw a number of different doctors in the practice throughout my visits. When the doctor checked me, she told me I was at a 0, dilated not at all, which I found a little strange, but she said, every doctor is a little different, but to go from a 3 to a 0 seems a little odd to me. Okay. Then they decided to also check my fluid again because it was already low the day before, and they found that it was at a 5.5. So the doctor called us back in and said, you can have a decision to make here, but she recommended that we induce by Monday at the latest. It was Saturday. She said you can go in tonight, you can go in Sunday, and go in Monday. And having seen all the doctors, we kind of asked, okay, well, who is delivering on what days? So I already had an induction scheduled for Tuesday anyways, so we knew which doctor that was, but they wanted it done by Monday. We didn't really like the doctor who was set to deliver on Sunday and Monday, and she was the doctor that was on call for Saturday night, so we decided to go ahead and go with her. She is probably the oldest female doctor in the practice, and in her early to mid 50s is my guess. I don't know. And she is a little more conservative. So, although I liked the younger female doctors, and none of them would be available, the only male doctor in the practice was the one who was available Sunday and Monday. And I don't know, we just were, not that I had a problem with a male doctor, but just didn't feel right about him for whatever reason. So we decided to go ahead and go in that night. My mom and my sister were actually at my house painting our kitchen. We decided to go out for lunch, and she said, just come back to the hospital whatever time. So, okay, just be there by, I think it was 8 o'clock that night. We went to lunch, and we finally got back to our house, and my mom and sister were there, like I said, and they're like, oh, so how'd it go? I said, oh, well, we're going back tonight. So they were a little surprised. We got everything in order. We were able to take care of our dogs and wait for my brother-in-law to get there. He was the one who would be watching our dogs while we were at the hospital. So it was nice that we had a little time to get ready and double-check the bags, which of course had already been packed for weeks. I think I had them packed for about 3 or 4 weeks, just in case, because my husband was crazy about that. Pack the bag, check the bags, check on the dogs, make sure everything was kind of taken care of. And so we headed to the hospital. We got there at about 5:45 on Saturday, August 18th. They checked me in, got all my information. It was nice because it was certainly more relaxed than if you go in labor, I suppose. Got my gown on, they took my blood, put in an IV, and started the induction. So they put in, by that time it was about 7:30, they put in the Cervidil and said that would be in for 12 hours. And then the next morning they would start with the Pitocin. And they said, oh, nothing really is going to happen tonight, so go ahead, and if you want to eat, you could get something to eat. It's not a big deal because nothing's going to happen tonight. So my husband actually left the hospital, went to Panera, and picked us up some dinner, just something light, because I was, of course, hooked up to, I wasn't hooked up to anything at that point, but they had some things going. And we're doing testing, of course, so I couldn't go anywhere. The kitchen was already closed. We didn't want to go to the cafeteria, so he went to Panera and brought some food back. We started eating, and, I'm on the monitors and everything. So on the Cervidil for about 30 minutes when they came in and said, what, this is not working, because the baby's heart rate kept going down, so they were concerned. So they decided to take the Cervidil out. and then we had to go right to the Pitocin. That was at about 8 o'clock. Finished eating, and they're like, they weren't thrilled because they had told me I could eat, and they weren't sure how fast the Pitocin was going to work. So, but we did that. Pitocin starts kicking in. So the Pitocin was in for a while, and I went about 2 or 3 hours of contractions before I got an epidural. I had no intentions of going natural at all anyways. I figured I'd be getting an epidural at some point. I wanted to, see how normal labor felt and all of that, so we did that. 2 or 3 hours, I was done. I had enough. So they put that in, and then I had an IV and was hooked up to everything, of course. However, they had to turn me in the bed every 15 minutes because my son would lay on one side or the other and get stuck, and then his heart rate would start going down again. So every 15 minutes for 12 hours, that's how long I was in labor, for 12 hours, they would turn me again, turn me again, la la la. And finally, at about 7:30 in the morning, the doctor came in again. Of course, she checked on me throughout the night. She came in and said, you know what, it's up to you. If you guys want to keep going for a little bit, that's fine. They checked me, and I was at 9 centimeters. And I was at 9 centimeters for a while. Been at 9 centimeters for at least 2 hours, I think. But he was not going anywhere anytime soon. So I got the impression that she really thought we should go ahead with a C-section. So my husband and I talked it over and decided, you know what, we gotta get it done. So here we go. So we did go ahead with the C-section, and Carter Reece was born at 8:49 a.m. on August 19th. He was 6 pounds, 12 ounces, and 19 inches long. And, it was okay. I wasn't thrilled about having a C-section, but did what we had to do to make sure both of us were fine. I, of course, could not, interesting experience, I couldn't feel anything, of course, and on the way down there, they decided to get me ready to go down to surgery, and they're prepping me and all of this and that, and as soon as we were leaving the hospital room to go to the surgery room, I told them, I said, I'm really not feeling good. I was really feeling nauseous from whatever they had given me to get me ready for surgery. And they're like, oh, it's okay. We'll give you something for the nausea when we get down there. Knowing, of course, I was already numbed up and couldn't feel anything, but I felt very nauseous. I said, no, I don't think I can wait that long. And like, no, it's okay. We'll get down there and give you something. And halfway out of the room, half the bed is in the hallway, half the bed's in the room, and I projectile vomited all over the nurse. It was pretty funny. And she starts screaming, and she's like, oh, man, I need help. And so, I don't know, I guess she got cleaned up. She probably should have listened to me when I told her I wasn't feeling good, but whatever. Too bad. So sad. So, got into surgery, and that, of course, went very quickly. I was surprised how quickly that went. I really didn't even know what was going on until they said, okay, here you go. Here's your son. And they held him up over the thing, and I didn't want a mirror or anything. I didn't want to see what was going on down there. Told my husband he could look, and he didn't want to. He went and got his cell phone because they hadn't told him that he could take pictures, so he ran and got his phone and came back, and he got some great video of my son after his first bath, and I'll insert that and some other pictures at the end here. And it's just a very good experience. The hospital was great. They came and checked on us multiple times once we got into recovery, and I was able to have him room in with us, and it was nice, and it was just very cool. So yeah, if you have any questions about the birth or anything, comment below. I'm going to be doing some more update videos as well as review videos and newborn videos and all that kind of stuff. So please hit the subscribe button up above there if you're interested in seeing more videos. And I'll see you guys soon.